Hello, hello. It's me again on this fine Tuesday, recommending 5 global development publications selected just for you. So, in the development community this week, we are commemorating World Bee Day, which is on Thursday, World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development, which is on Friday, and on Saturday, the International Day for Biological Diversity. You don't have to ask because we have a publication shedding light on each of these areas. So let's get into it. First off, I dive into the world of bees, highlighting a report on the relationship between bees and poverty alleviation and the drivers and barriers to beekeeping in sub-Saharan Africa using Uganda as a subject. This paper takes a look at why Uganda, which is one of the only 5 sub-Saharan African countries that can export honeybee products to the European Union, has failed to truly take advantage of this opportunity. The report notes that farmers have identified their lack of interest being a result of beekeeping not significantly changing the financial and economic livelihoods of their communities compared to other agricultural ventures, despite beekeeping being an integral part of all agricultural processes. The paper proposes that non-governmental organizations need to put more thought into how they implement bee husbandry in terms of education and how they provide protective equipment. My second recommendation today looks at the correlation between Covid-19 and loneliness in South Africa in young adults. Participants to this study were university students, and the results show that mean loneliness scores were significantly higher than previous studies in other contexts, as well as studies conducted in the time of COVID-19. The report suggests that loneliness is a significant public health concern in South Africa in the time of COVID-19. It also suggests that self-efficacy and resilience can potentially be reinforced by public health campaigns that focus on enhancing COVID-19 related knowledge and preparedness. My recommendation number 3 keeps us in South Africa, but this time in biodiversity offsets. This article takes a look at why offsets have been ineffective in achieving positive biodiversity outcomes in South Africa, despite the country being the 3rd most biologically diverse country in the world. The lack of a national policy on diversity is identified as the most hindering factor, along with a lack of cohesive implementation between national agencies. The article presents 8 alternative solutions for South Africa and other African countries, which are: number 1, national policy and oversight on biodiversity offsets; 2, capacity building; 3, improving EIA. EIA is environmental impact assessment, so improving the practice and integrating offset considerations. Number 4, improving decision-making and conditions of authorization. Number 5, financial and institutional arrangements. Number 6, up-to-date biodiversity information. Number 7, communication and transparency. And finally, number 8, a more strategic approach to offsetting. Up next for you today is the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index for 2020. And this report analyzes the consequences and intersectionalities of how poverty affects people individually and collectively in what is known as multidimensional poverty. Currently, 22% of the population of developing countries live in multidimensional poverty. This equates to 1.3 billion people, and with the SDGs being set to be achieved in 2030, SDG 1 is not on the trajectory to be achieved. The COVID-19 pandemic started whilst this particular research was already underway, and so the true extent of how the pandemic has affected poverty rates is not known. Finally, on the AfCFTA, I bring you a discussion paper published in December last year that looks at what the potential benefits of the AfCFTA would mean for African countries. The main positive outcome identified is the diversification and industrialization of multiple sectors, such as manufacturing, agriculture, services, and e-commerce sectors within individual countries and regionally. Another positive benefit would be on gender inequality, with the gender pay gap being expected to decrease. In addition, the AfCFTA hopes to become Africa's saving grace in light of the COVID-19 pandemic and its subsequent impact. And that is it from me today. Oh, and do have a look at our website. We have done some upgrades and it's looking very snazzy, if I do say so myself. Enjoy the rest of your week. Until next week, stay safe, everyone.